Good evening, folks. My name is Mitch, aka M177A in game, and also on Reddit. I'm here to provide a carry offer for those who need it or want it. This is for the newest limited time trial. This is for the Lord of the Beast, and it will allow you to complete all missions, but it will take some time just because this limit burst, no limit burst requirement will take a while to complete. Frankly, I don't think that it's worth to take so much time just to complete a trial for the 10,000 copper coins. It's easy enough to farm these using your energy in the current event right now with some bonus units. So that's why I just avoided this altogether. Everything else here is definitely worth it. This is actually something that I would recommend people do their best to get. It's called Dragon's Destiny, and it's a staff with 5% evasion, physical evasion on it. It's pretty unique. It's more than likely just a niche item for those who can wield staff and also want to put together an evade build. So what we're going to be using today is we're going to be using Awaken Rain, and he is geared basically to have over 100 resist on fire and light. You actually only just need 100 resist on light and fire, and that's more than enough. You also need paralysis resist, you need confusion resist, and you also need stop resist. So that's why I'm using Awaken Rain to do so. And Awaken Rain is geared towards defense and spirit. I did try using a full evade build, but the counter with the holy attack triggered the boss into rage mode and quickly killed Awaken Rain. So everything here is pretty much set to achieve the 100 resist on light and fire, and also the status ailment resistance. Domino's Boots, a very nice 3-star item, TMR. Gives you 20% HP, 15% defense, and also paralysis resist. Grand Helm gives you the confusion resist. It also gives you a boost in HP and defense if you have heavy armor on. And the rest of the equipment here is designed basically to give the unit either resist with patriotic recall or just a lot of stats in terms of HP, defense, or spirit. So the boss itself is a little unique. It actually has 2 different phases. The first phase is pretty easy enough. This is where we're going to be using to generate our first esper summon, and possibly even our second. The easiest way to get that out, that requirement out, is just to bring any units that can fill up your esper gauge as quickly as possible, because doing so will increase the efficiency and then decrease the amount of turns you need to take in order to finish off the boss. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of whittle away at the boss. We're going to do Rising Ray, and this will just do a little bit of damage. It'll fill up your limit burst gauge. It'll also hopefully generate some esper orbs as well. There we go. So you don't take a lot of damage in the beginning fight over here. Massive Slam is probably the only thing that's going to give you the most trouble, but it's really easy to deal with, and I'll show you now. So we're just basically using Rising Ray to generate esper orbs. If you feel like you're taking too much damage, then what you can do is you can use Complete Awakening. This will give you massive HP recovery, MP recovery as well. And it'll also give you damage mitigation for 3 turns, also stat buffs. And you just continue on with Rising Wet Ray all the way through. Okay, hopefully this will be enough. Not quite. And we don't have to worry about most of the attacks that this Hall Guardian throws at you, just because you have that resistance. You have high physical defense, so you don't take much physical damage. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we're not going to use the limit first, we're going to be summoning the Esper. That's the first of the 2. Okay, we're about 10k HP. Use Complete Awakening again. This will get us up to full HP in 2 turns, which is more than enough. I'm using Rising Ray again. Okay, you might get into a situation where the HP of the boss is dropping pretty quickly. You don't have enough Esper Orbs to generate another summon, which is perfectly fine because you can always get it in the next phase. Okay, this is more than enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the boss into the next phase now. And then we'll continue on with the fight. So once the boss hits hits 50%, then that's when the next phase starts. The boss will fill up the HP completely and go through a series of different moves. Okay, so I'm just going to generate some HP regen. And then this next attack should bring the boss into the second phase at 50%. There we go. Okay, the Hall Guardian will morph into a more powerful, colorful Hall Guardian. And what we want to do is we want to kind of wait. You can attack it, not a problem, or you can just defend depending on how much HP you have, because we're waiting for the little message that pops up over here. It's preparing for a counterattack. So now what we want to do in this turn, and you can tell, even if you miss the message, you can tell just by hovering over the boss. There's this little icon on here, boost resistance to magic attack. So we do anything to the boss right now, it's going to retaliate with a mana drain, and if you do that twice in this fight, then the boss will retaliate with a complete wipe to your party. So what we want to do in this area is, when the boss talks like that, we're going to use Complete Awakening. If you don't have Complete Awakening, you can always defend, that's not a problem. And next turn what we're going to do is we are going to use complete focus. And then if you have enough to use your summon, then go for it. Or not your summon. If you have a limit burst, then go for it. If not, then what you need to do is you need to use Unleash Focus. And Unleash Focus will do a good chunk of HP damage to the boss. So now it's preparing for a counterattack again. You can sell from the icon up there. And we don't want to do anything, so what we're going to do is we're going to use Complete Awakening. Or we're going to be using Complete Focus. It doesn't really matter, especially if your HP is all the way at the max, then you don't have to worry about taking too much damage at all. So now that we use Complete Focus, the boss's resistance to magic has faded away, and we're going to use Blood Linkage, and you're going to just see how much damage Awakened Rain will do with just one limit burst. So that's why I don't believe that farming or trying to get that 10k coins without using any limit bursts for that achievement, it's really not worth it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to summon the second esper. This will complete the 2 esper requirement. It's preparing for a counterattack again. And my limit burst gauge is filled. However, I want to use the limit burst on the next round, so I'm not going to use Complete Awakening here. I'm going to use Complete Focus. This is optional, depending on whatever you want to do and how much HP you have remaining. You just gotta basically survive the next round of Onslaught. Because if you don't, then you have to use Complete Awakening to make sure that you stay alive. So it took about 20% HP right there just from one limit burst. That's of course after using Complete Focus. So what we're going to do now is just use another limit burst. This is without the spirit buff. It took about 9% HP right there. Okay, so Rain's HP is getting a little down there. Use Complete Awakening. The boss already, his resistance has already been dropped, so we don't have to worry about that now. Use Complete Focus. If you don't have enough LB gauge, then just use Unleashed Focus. So from 37% down to 29. So it took down about 8% in terms of HP. So now you see this right here. This is just the resistance to magic attacks. We're not going to hit it at all right now, or no, it's going to retaliate. It's going to suck, so we're going to use Complete Focus. And this will put us in the position to use the limit burst again. Unless you don't use the limit burst and you're trying to get that achievement, then you just use Unleash Focus. Okay, so we can't do anything right now. We're going to use Complete Focus again. We just used it right now, but we're going to use it again because we can't do any damage to the boss with any magic attacks. And we don't want it to retaliate, so. Alright, and this should do it with this limit burst here. So if you need any help, please feel free to leave a comment below with your ID number. I'll get to you as quickly as possible. And if you enjoyed this content, feel free to like, subscribe, check out my other my other videos on YouTube. And if there's if there's not a lot of demand for this carry, then I'm going to switch over to my other carry. You might have seen it already. It's basically Kryla taking on 6 different trials. And I'll get that underway soon enough. It's just I want to focus on the limited time trials first. So thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, and you guys have a good one. Take care.